Hello everyone, I am Manav and in this video we are gonna learn about three topics of geography. First topic will be to analyze globe and to understand how the time is calculated. What is IDL? What is GMT? What is UT? Second thing is that we are going to also learn the mystery of day and night, mean how the day comes and night and the seasons on the earth. The third thing is that we are going to also analyze maps. So these are those three topics that we are going to cover in this particular video. So let's begin with our topic, and first of all we will start with globe, because our first topic is to analyze the globe and to learn how the time is calculated. So what is globe? When I wonder about globe, I just wonder, or I just make a picture in my mind: a spherical shaped ball on which water bodies and landforms are marked. A needle is passing through it. It is a little tilted, and a stand on which it is standing like that. It's the picture that we get in our mind, and from this thing, if I move to other thing, that is what to little learn that there are also some things on the map. So first I said that there is a needle passing through it. What is that needle? That needle is nothing but axis. Axis is an imaginary line that passes through Earth or the object that take the process, that carry out the process of what we said is, it carry out the process of not process, I mean rotation, or yes, rotation on its axis. But if I talk about globe, if there is concern of globe, from that point of view, our axis is not an imaginary line, it is a physical line. It is just made to learn that there is that particular line, that is axis. But in real, there is no any line, that your needle that is passing through it, so it is not too much on that thing. And that needle is imaginary line, but if I talk about globe, it is a physical line. But in real, we know that it is an imaginary line that helps us to understand the motion of Earth. Now, another thing. You must find many of the lines marked on the globe, like this, horizontally also and vertically also. There are the lines that are marked. That thing is what? Yeah. These are longitude and latitudes, a type of lines that are marked on globe. And this axis can either be horizontal or vertical, and also tilted. But the axis of the earth is tilted like this. If you will observe, it is tilted like this. Like this. and that is tilted on an angle of 23 half degree. That's why it is like this. And after this, if I talk about the lines that are marked on the globe, or that are longitude and latitude, first I'll talk about latitude. The horizontal lines that are marked on the globe are known as latitudes. Latitude are also known as parallel of latitude and circle of latitude. And the longest line, the longest latitude is known as equator or the great circle. And can you tell me where would be that passing through? At the above, at the below, or at the center? Yeah, the answer would be equator. Equator is situated at the center. I mean, this is a particular sphere. These are lines. So at the center, when you find it, that is the longest line. And equator divides the earth, horizontally divides the earth into two halves, into two parts. And that parts are nothing but northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. South, north, you know that what is that. So if you have studied about the directions, so you must be aware that at the top we have north. Exactly like this. If I talk about this thing, our north is at the top. This is my sphere. This is my equator. This is north, and the below part is south. And these are known as hemisphere. Hemisphere. Northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. And if I move to a more level topic, please remember these both the name that latitudes are also known as circle of latitude and also known as parallel of latitude. The longest line is the equator that passes through the center, and the equator is also known as great circle. Yeah, it is known as great circle. And if I move to more higher, that are important parallel of latitude. You know that these latitudes tells us about the heat zones on the earth. There are three heat zones: torrid zone, temperate zone, and a particular fridge zone. So all these three zones are known as heat zones. Now don't be too much worry about or bother when you see these things, because this is nothing but heat zone are three. In our test there was an question that named the heat zones on the earth. So one my friend he wrote the names India, Asia. So you don't have to do that mistake. The three heat zones are torrid zone, temperate zone, and frigid zone. And these tell us which of the following part is getting more and more sunlight with much intensity or least intensity. So the important parallel of latitude are 0 degree. On 0 degree, please carefully listen me. On 0 degree, what we have? On 0 degree, we have equator. Equator, mean great circle, is here. So this is 0, above 23 half, above 66 half. again that thing, same. 23 half, 66 half, but this will be degree, but at the above it will be 23 half north degree, 23 half degree north, 66 half degree south, north, and there south. So 23 half north, 23 half south, and 0 degree are the important parallel of latitude. On my 23 degree half north, that part is known as Tropic of Cancer. This Tropic of Cancer runs from the India. There is a place where it divides the earth, we can say. And at the 66 half uh, degree north, we have our, I think, what was that there? Yes, it is Arctic Circle. Arctic Circle. 23 half degrees south, Tropic of Capricorn, and our last at south, 66 half is Antarctica, Antarctic Circle. And these are some points that you must remember. If you will see that diagram, so you'll find all these things. Now let's move on to our zones. What heat zones? Torrid zone, temperate zone, and third, frigid zone. Frigid, freezer, refrigerator. So first, torrid zone. If I talk about torrid zone, from its name, it is like a little harmful, and also a little and a little hot. And particularly, this topic is a little easy. The part of the earth that receives direct sunlight, from the sun is known as torrid zone. Now, from where to where the torrid zone is formed? Torrid zone is formed from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Equator also comes on that. Between these part, the area between both of these is it receives direct sunlight from the sun, and the temperature is little high, and these zones are known as torrid zone. Temperate zone. If I move to above, to more latitude, to the from the Tropic of Cancer and in South Tropic of Capricorn, so the temperature is not too much cold, not much hot. I mean, it is neither too hot nor too cold. It is moderate, medium. And this part is known as temperate zone. Here temperature is not too much high or not too much low. From where to where is this found? From if I talk about north, so from Arctic Circle to Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer, and in south, an Arctic Circle to Tropic of Capricorn. Now frigid circle, frigid zone. If I talk about frigid zone, from its name, it looks like a little cold. I think you can make that thing what I'm talking about. So this is the coldest zone of Earth, as it does not receive much sunlight with full intensity. It is a little scattered sunlight comes on it, and this part of the earth is known as frigid zone. If I talk about north, so the frigid zone is from Arctic Circle to the North Pole. This area between these is known as my frigid zone of north. And if I talk about south, it is from an Arctic Circle to South Pole. Khatam. And if I move to now vertical, my vertical lines that are marked on globe, vertical lines marked on globe are known as longitude. But they are known as longitude. So longitude are the lines that are marked vertically on the globe. These are also known as meridian. And the major, like we have equator, the longest, exactly like this. There is a line, longest line that passes through Royal Observatory of Greenwich Village near London. That particular major longitude is known as prime meridian. And this prime meridian is also on 0°. And for your kind information, I would also just tell you that our particular longitude, there are 360 longitude that are marked on globe. But if I talk about my latitude, they are 180, 90 on our north and 90 to our south. And in my particular longitude, if I talk about, at that time it divide two lines. There are two lines that divide the earth, this particular thing, into two parts, a prime meridian and 180 degree meridian. 180 degree meridian is there. There are 180 degree in eastern and western, in two halves that are divided. So one line meet at a point, that line and that line are opposite to each other. So they line join up, make a circle, and the part that are at the side, one is known as eastern hemisphere and second is known as the western hemisphere. Eastern hemisphere has 180 degree 180 meridian, whereas if I talk about western, it also have 180, 360 in total. So if I move to another thing, I would also like to say tell you that this prime meridian and Greenwich is a major point from which the time is calculated. And now is the topic that you'll have to learn, and this is the topic. This is the major topic that tells you that how to calculate time. Now, as we know, the earth rotates to west to east, so the eastern part will be earlier in time than the western part, exactly like this. If when my earth is divided in this prime meridian tells us time. GMT, you know about GMT? GMT is Greenwich Mean Time. I'll tell you what is this. It is also known as UT, Universal Time. But first you'll have to learn about the degree. on which this is calculated. You know that 1 hour is equal to 15 degree. 1 hour is equal to 15 degree. If our earth rotates 15 degrees, so it means it can either lose 1 hour or it can either or it can also gain 1 hour. And from this topic, if I slightly move, slightly very, that the place, this is our prime meridian, this is Greenwich. The place that is 30 degree more to west, to its west part, in the western hemisphere, 30 degree, the distance. So it means if the time here is 2 a.m., the time there will be 10 p.m. It will lose. In western, the time will be lesser than my Greenwich and my eastern part. If I am at 30 degree east from my Greenwich, so 2 hours, mean I will gain 2 hours. If there is 2 a.m., so on the place that is far to 30 degree, it will be 2 a.m. The time will be 2 a.m. This is how the time is calculated. Now, GMT means Greenwich Mean Time or UT. IST, Indian Standard Time. The time that is in India is Indian Standard Time. If I move on to the other topic, that is mine, Master of Day and Night. For this, I would just like to tell you some terms that are rotation, revolution, and any other? No. Orbit of the Earth, orbital plane. Yeah. So, what is rotation? The motion of the Earth on its axis is known as rotation. Earth is anything. I'm not just talking about Earth. If I am moving 360 degree, that is rotation. Rotation can only be possible if there is axis. If there is axis, rotation is possible. If there is no axis, no rotation. The common term for the rotation is spin. Top, you must be aware about top that spins. It also have rotate. It also have an axis. Rotation and axis. And if I move to other thing, that is my rotation after rotation, revolution. If I talk about revolution, revolution means the rotation of the motion of the Earth around the Sun in a fixed path is known as revolution. The fixed path is also known as orbital plane of the Earth, or in simple language we can say orbit of the Earth. Now, if I talk about orbit of the Earth, so it is a little, slightly easy. Orbit of the Earth is not perfectly circular in shape. It is elongated circle, or if I talk in a little complex language, that is elliptical in shape. Elliptical is like a long circle that is stretched up horizontally. Yeah. And this revolution around the rotation of the Earth make one day and one night on Earth, and the revolution of the Earth makes season on the Earth. How? Uh, it is like we can say, if I talk about the definition that I have written, I think I have written the season on the Earth is caused due to the tilt axis and the revolution of the Earth around the Sun. The tilt axis is the either of the hemisphere can be tilted toward sun and get and receive direct sunlight, and due to the direct sunlight causes summer seasons on either of the hemisphere that is tilted toward, and the hemisphere that is away than the sun will at that particular half that will face winter. I have written like this particular, we can say, definition. So if I have also given that example in my notebook that, for example, northern hemisphere is facing the sun, is tilted toward the sun, and so it will receive direct sunlight from the sun and causing summer season. And there are two type of condition that happens on Earth. Those two type of conditions are like that condition was there are yes two conditions, and that conditions are first condition, not condition, which is a type of weather, we can say, that are solstice and equinox. Solstice and equinox. Equinox, if I talk about equinox, it is a little mean equal. Solstice, I will tell you. So the solstice on the earth happen when the earth faces the sun for the longest or the shortest period of time. It is tilted too much. It is taking sunlight, but is not tilted too much. It is like this. So that is our solstice. When the earth faces the sun for the longest period of time, it is known as summer solstice, and it usually occurs on 21 June. 21 June. And if I talk about winter solstice, when the earth faces the sun for the shortest period of time, it is known as winter solstice. And in the I think in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice occur on 22 December, and on the particular southern hemisphere, it occurs on, I think, 20 or 21 June. If I move to another equinox, so before going to the equinox, I think you must have noticed that if the earth axis is tilted, so there is possible that season can cause. But if it is like this straight, it cannot. It will be not too much easy. It will not to be easy. I'll say this. And equinox is this. There's a day comes, there's a period, there's a time come when the earth axis is neither tilted to a here or here, it is straight. So there is no peak of summer and winter. There is not too much hot temperature or low temperature. There are two type of equinox: autumnal equinox and spring equinox. Spring equinox comes after winter season, after winter solstice, we can say, and the autumnal equinox comes after summer solstice, and autumnal equinox comes in the season of autumn, and our vernal equinox. Vernal equinox is that particular thing, and vernal equinox comes on the spring season. So these are the vernal equinox and the autumnal equinox, two types of equinox. And equinox comes when neither of the hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, when my axis is full straight. So I hope, friend, you understand our today's topic. Our topic is completed. I'll just like to now I'm going to end this video. So thank you very much for watching my video, and thank you very much. Thank you.